Whoa, 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 don't click off yet. Why don't you stay a while and let me introduce you to my channel? Welcome to Rugrat Hachi, and this is my intro. Hello everyone, Rugrat Hachi here, and today we're doing a little something different, dabbling a little bit into the DC content, because I'm still in this shit fandom and I don't know why I do this to myself, but I still enjoy the series. One of my favorite characters, top two if you didn't already see the video, Fiore's comic dropped, and I ain't gonna lie, I already read it. Like, I only read the leaked thing I saw, but that's it. Now that the official one has dropped, it's time we read this and go into a little bit more about Fiore in general, I guess. It's number 4. Fiore has the best one. Diego's is ass. Miriam's is, second best. Logan's lame, and Jade's pretty cool. Now we're in the number 4. Sorry. My parents say I don't know why I didn't actually say what I was doing. Like, I'm gonna be reading what's on the screen, obviously. It's a comic. But anyways. My parents say I was named... Oh, wait. I didn't mean to stop again, sorry. But what I will be doing is commenting while I read, because there's a lot of info to get through. So, obviously, that wasn't obvious. But it's... No, we're just gonna start. My parents say I was named Fiore because my father brought my mother flowers every single day they were dating. Oh, how lovely. What a lovely little fairy tale. I totally forgot that was there. Except Grandma let it slip that they were never really dated at all. They simply found themselves stuck together once my mother got pregnant. That's already big. That's already big off the bat. Fiore, you can say, was not... No, I think it is. Fiore was not planned. Fiore was not planned, and I think that already says a lot about her in general. And it sucks. It sucks that that's what happened. Leo, I'm pretty sure his name is, got Sabine pregnant, and basically they said, well, we got to do it for the child. But yeah, as you can see further, well, that didn't really go that well. The flowers were a nice touch, even if they were total bullshit. True? Did they really think I'd never figure out? If there's one thing I cannot stand, it's people underestimating my intelligence. I love already how this is in a diary. It's in a book. Get Fiore's thoughts. This is their house. Must be very rich. Number 1807. I despise people. Kids my age most of all. So I figured writing would be the best way to get my thoughts out of my head. Just a way to pass time. Definitely not because I feel alone. That would be pathetic. No worries, Fiore. We're all alone at certain points in our lives. And there's her family. Fiore! Season 1? Fiore. Or past. Nope. Before. It's technically past Fiore, past. Past Fiore, before Season 1. There we go. That's the book. And look at her little bean. She's just so lonely. I mean, she's not lonely. Shut up. She steps into her library. Yeah, it's a whole library in their house. It's a book. It's the book. Yeah, she gets a book. And she just starts reading. Oh yeah, that's her diary. That makes sense. Sabine and Leo are always busy. How am I supposed to call them parents when I barely see them? I'll give them one thing, though. Leaving me alone all day with hundreds of books taught me more than those two losers ever could. Makes sense. Those are Sabine and Leo. And one Sabine, and that's Leo. Definitely looks like her mother. Fiore definitely looks like her mother. And then Leo with the cat, I know my father prefers any stray off the street to me. I can't say I blame him. I've always been a lot to handle. Just wild. Is that Anastasia? Barbara? Nah. Yeah, destroy that. Get her out. We don't like that at all. A doll? Is this meant to be an insult? Next time try finding something actually worth my time. Thwack. Thwacky. Low-key, that picture right there is kind of hard. And you got a little barracuda. 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 There's a little My Little Pony there. Whatever may that mean. I'm worried. This isn't normal. It's our fault. We never make time for her. At least y'all know. I do what I can. Who do you think pays for all this? Paying for a house and all that stuff to stay is not worth. It's not, all you really can do. And what if she was simply born this way? You can already see this would be neglect, right? You can already see it. Let's just say you can already see the parenting already going wrong. This is just not how you do it. Hold on now. You leave your child in this big house with all these books. It seems like they have jobs, but maybe someone stays home to watch Fiore. But even still, it's like you don't really not hang out. I won't say hang out. Spend time with her, or to do anything else. It's just not it. Just not it. I like to believe she was. I'd hate to think we're the ones raising a monster. You possibly are raising a monster that you created. You are being put in this world. Just for shit like that. That's not right. Sometimes I almost feel sorry for them. They were too cowardly to end it before I was born. And now they're stuck with the burden they never wanted. Yep, never planned. Never. It seemed like they possibly didn't even want a child. And they didn't end it. Or they didn't even end the pregnancy. There's a lot of deep shit going on. And I think that's what I prefer. That's not Tom Jake and stuff. I don't know. I think certain stuff when it comes to something like this is way more engaging. It's a really serious topic that is not explored, that is actually interesting, more interesting than most. But I'll talk about that later. Hopefully I talk about it later. There goes Leo and Sabine checking their paper documents, maybe bills. Sweetheart, I received a note from your school today. You made 2 of your classmates cry along with your teacher and the principal. Wonderful. This isn't a game, Fiorella. They deserved everything that happened to them, every last one. The teacher drones on endlessly about things any child with half a brain already knows, and everyone knows she's only here because she's married to the principal's son. Whoa. Some drama there. I think that's even drama. We cannot keep dealing with this every single week. Either get used to it or send me off somewhere. One day, we just might. Sending her off because y'all failed in the first place. You guys have already failed. You wouldn't dare, cowards. I found a way to be rid of them for a while, and, if I'm lucky, to come away with enough money to leave them for good and never see them again. An incoming adventure camp. Request for authorization to participate in this venture camp. Have you lost your mind? Do you honestly believe we'll let you run off to some reality show in the middle of nowhere? I've already accepted. You only need to let me go. We won't. Oh, you will. If you don't, one of these days, you'll come home. I won't be here, and you will never see me again. The fact that it even got to this point already states that, they failed. They failed in some way, and they are paying for the consequences. So, if they don't want her to leave, she was gonna go to this venture camp, which she did. So, you know, what did we do to ever deserve this? What did we ever do to deserve this? Why do I read like that? Save your breath and signed here. This venture camp was something, but I didn't expect to bond with someone. Liquid break. Her riding Will, making him look like a weirdo, getting shot, playing out for the camera. Nice spin wheel challenge. My boy Alec. For the first time in my life, an adult didn't underestimate me. He treated me as an equal. We were accomplices. He and I, we did a great deal of terrible, delightful strategies together. We even killed a few people in VR. Pretty badass, right? Insanely badass. Love that episode, by the way. And this duo was something I wasn't expecting. I've been a DC fan since beta. And although things right now aren't looking the greatest, and it's a little bit rocky, these two definitely enhanced the love I have even more. Such a great duo. Oh, challenge. Parent regret was awesome. Yeah, kill that bitch, Tom. Fuck you. But every cool thing comes to an end. I intend to win, and that means I have to betray him. Perhaps it makes me rotten. I didn't feel a thing. This is how the game works. You dispose of the people who protected you. And all the nighttime stuff. But I don't need you anymore. Your parents were right about you. You are a mistake. What I want to say about this is we already know Alec is, I think it's before, it's actually during? I don't remember. Either we do or we do know his life's currently fucked up, or we know that he never planned to have Daniel. I don't know. We just know he does have a child, and he is with Cheryl. But he's already dealing with some issues, I believe, already. And I guess maybe he never thought he'd see Fiore again ever. And then this happened. But this, at the time when she turned on him, it was kind of sad. Because Fiore never had certain moments like this. So it was interesting to see. I don't think they actually have the cave scene. That was, see, they should have added that. When she made that face for the first time, I was so intrigued by that. Then we got this, and I thought, man, okay, Cartoon's stupid as fuck for this. To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if there was lore in mind for, like, this to continue, and they'd get to this point where they add it all in now. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know everything at the time. Maybe they didn't want Fiore and Alec to last, but, you know, they went back on what they were doing. So it led to this. It does, you know, it really is wrong to say this to a child, by the way, especially knowing who Fiore is, but also knowing what Alec is, or what Alec has dealt with, and what he's done for his own family. This is a lot, and I think that's what makes me love it even more. That's fucked up to probably say, but I like fucked up shit. Certain, you know, this is just fun to read. Time to go home, then. Why can't a person simply stay at Camp Tippy Skull forever? My parents watched the whole thing unfold, and now they're terrified of me? Works for me. I'd rather they respect me and be scared of me than treat me like some idiot. Sad that it had to come this way, and it's sad that they didn't, you know, her parents weren't even, or well, Sabine and Leo, can't call them parents, even saw her like this in the first place. Come on now, could y'all not read y'all daughter? So, what are we eating today? We need to talk. Can't imagine we've got anything to discuss. I can. What? Go pack your things. Remember boarding school? It's happening. I'm not even old enough for boarding school. You'll sit in the entrance exam. They'll admit you. We know you'll pass it. You can't stay here any longer. Can't I stay at Grandma's at least? You will not become her burden. You know what? Let's go right now. I'm not hungry anyways. I'd take that over spending another minute with you two, the two of you. Man, I was really hoping we'd actually see Fiore's grandmother. Cause if it's like a Jake situation, like, that'd be nice, I guess. Ugh, I don't even use that app. Those assholes actually went through it. You know what? Hold on. They're even keeping the house in the States and shipping me all the way off to boarding school in Italy. The feeling is mutual, really. They want to be as far from me as possible. And it hurts a little. She scribbled that out. As I want to be from them as I want to be from them. Best they leave me here. I don't want to look at their stupid faces ever again. You can obviously tell. She isn't this evil child, and she does have these feelings. They're just, showing in her diary, because she cried. Obviously, that's what the wet spots are, and she scribbled out how it feels, how it really makes her feel, and it's honestly something to think about along her whole journey. To be honest, on the flight, who this person is, she's probably thinking, "What the hell's a child doing here?" I don't know. This place has its good sides and its bad ones. The good, I get to play cat and mouse with the nuns. They lose their patience so very easily, and it's honestly hilarious to watch. You can see that shift, by the way. That's funny. And yeah, this is definitely meme worthy. W Fiore. The bad, I can't leave when I please. Some days it feels like I'm stuck in here forever, as if I were in jail. I've never committed any crimes. At least let me commit some crimes before locking me up. Crazy. And this is the boarding school. Whoosh. Sweetheart, it's Sabine. What are you doing here, and where's Leo? He isn't ready to see you yet. I wanted to come and see how you're getting on. How do you imagine I'm getting on? Locked up in here? At least Leo has the consistency not to come crawling back in tears. They didn't space this out. They need to fix that. I missed you. Sorry. I've missed you. Ever since you were a baby, all I ever wanted was the best for you. Don't play the doting mother. Doting? Mother now. Take yourself out of here. You left me in this place. Then live with your decision and make your peace with it? I'm sorry for all of it. I should have stayed closer to you. I should have made the effort to get to know you. You're right. This monster was born this way. Nothing you could have done would have changed a thing. Now get the fuck out. Strong scene there. I think all of it, all of what's happening, what they're doing, what they've written, is doing the bare minimum. Sabine and Leo aren't the greatest parents, obviously. Hell, again, she wasn't planned, and they had no plan, honestly. If this is how they thought they were going to raise their child, Sabine coming back here is questionable, I guess. But, you can see she wants to care. She wants to be back in her life, obviously. Or at least that's what she's saying here. But honestly, it's just, I don't know what you expected from Fiore, or how Fiore to react, because, y'all didn't really show much at all. Like, she can say she did this and that, or she wanted this and that, but, actions speak louder than words, pretty much, and all they've been doing is a lot of words, and the actions they did do weren't enough, or they didn't give in action, so she just kept in the fucking library reading all those books, and that's why she was so smart, and why she was so different than everyone else. Moving on. I do hope that made that bitch feel better about herself. Still crying, of course. Time to go back to this venture camp, because we got called for all-stars, bitches. Running away from the nun, sneaking out. Yeah. Demon Crystal, thank you for helping us out, Crystal. That was shorter than I expected. Damn. But at the very least, things smoothed over with Alec. When she came back and immediately basically friended Alec, I was excited. I didn't want this duo to end, and they were honestly the best thing going for this venture camp. And I think around this time, no, I won't say it, because I'm pretty sure it was around season 1. I think Fiore should have been as big as Tom Drake. I'm just gonna say it now. Fiore should have been the biggest character, ever. just at least as big as Tom Jake, because when you're writing a story like this, and Fiore's a character who started off as 6, I believe, 2 years since it's like 8, and then 2 years again, she's 10 now. She started off as 6, and we're seeing her basically grow up. Like, I just don't get how you at least revolve your story around that. She even made it to the finale, and she made it to the finale twice. Not only that, and it was even planned as a winner for like a, she wasn't always planned as the official winner, but when DC had alternate endings. But her smoothing things over with Alec, honestly, it was better. My favorite team, I'm pretty sure this is Magenta team. Ironically, the team with Hunter Alley. I think that's still one of my favorite ships. It's my second favorite. Actually, Jake and Fiore was my favorite team. I do remember the All Stars time. I remember episode 1 of All Stars being my favorite episode. I said that was the best episode DC had, and honestly, I might just go back to saying that because it's been a rough ride. I don't think DC season 5 has an episode that tops like a lot of the past episodes, and DC season 4, it has episodes, but it all depends. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Fiore here. Marcus and Nina, my goats. Fiore yelling at everybody. By the way, I still love the Hunter Fiore beef. Amazing haircut and amazing outfit. I think I finally worked out what family means. It isn't love, not really. It's simply staying put when the other one needs you there. I couldn't tell you whether I love Alec as a friend, but I can be there when he needs me. Huh? I should stop. I'm beginning to write corny trash, and I detest it. Now, this is a big scene. She basically saying, like, Alec is, like, a family member. I guess a family member, let me read this again. She's family. She didn't know. He's family that. See, I'm not good for stuff like this. But what I'm trying to say is, of course, she says she can't tell you whether she likes Alec as a friend, but she does count him as family. So, pretty much they are family, but not, of course, in the way of, adoption or a lot of other stuff. But they are family in one way or another. That's a better way to say it, but I'm blanking. And, of course, I'm blanking at the moment. That happens a lot. But this is so strong because we've been through this whole fandom, and so many people were sitting here even saying, like, Fiore and Alec aren't really a family. It's not a mother-daughter duo. Oh, sorry, father-daughter. Mother-daughter, father-daughter duo. I mean, I got what was being seen. Like, I can understand. I can see each side, but I mean, I always thought this was like a fam. Does that word for that? Family. They're like a family duo, but of course not the official. Either way, this is good enough for both of them because Alec is not the greatest dad, but he's great for Fiore. And, Fiore needed a certain adult figure that didn't treat her like a child. So you can't say it's basically confirmed that they're good for each other. As she also states, that, he does need Fiore and she needs him. She didn't say that part, but you could tell. Oh man, I was going crazy when she found that. I was hoping. Of course, it didn't happen though. That scene so fun, and the tutoring, amazing. Back at the boarding school, dreadful as ever. Alec has come to visit a handful of times, less often lately. He's been failing over and over at putting his own family back together. I haven't seen Leo or Sabine in a very long time. I don't really care. Obviously, at this time, Alec is basically already divorced. I think it was beforehand. Yeah. Excuse me. He's already divorced and lost custody of Daniel. And All Stars didn't make it better. To be honest, I think they could have made that whole story even a little bit better. Not make it seem like he not make it like seem like, oh, he just didn't care about his child, because like he wanted his family back, but oh, he doesn't really care about his child. But I guess it also work. If we get an Alec story, I can also come back to that Alec comic. I can come back to that because there is still so much to explore with Alec, and you can fit in Fiore, of course, because I don't think this is over. A beautiful shot, yeah, beautiful shot. Alec came to visit today. After a long stretch of absence, still the same pathetic man he's always been. No matter. He tells me the DC producers are cooking up something special for season 5. I'm thinking I ought to go. They're cooking up something special. No, they're cooking up ass. Trevor and Derek reached out to me. They want you in. There's just one small complication. I may need another one of my stellar escapes. No need for that this time. I spoke with your parents. You did what? They handed me your passport and signed off on you taking part. So it's up to you now. And why on earth would they do that? I suppose if my kid Daniel asked me for anything, I'd say yes out of guilt. See, like, Sabine and Leo and Alec are in the same position, but the thing is, it sounds like Sabine and Leo are staying together either way, unlike, Alec and Cheryl, who I'm pretty sure found love and they had their child. The difference is them staying together was on purpose. Them having the child. Oh damn, that is deep as hell. Because even when I'm saying that just sounds wrong. That's deep. They aren't capable of guilt. They're not permitted that. Come on, Fiore. Maybe if I win, I'll get my family back. And as you can see, that's not happening. If you win, you finally get out of this place for good. Well, let's do it. Just once more, I've got a good feeling about this one. A hug? Whatever. And he takes the step. And honestly, this got to be the most beautiful moment in, DC history, the DC comics, just all of it. Just Fiore and Alec finally hug. We've never seen this in the series, and honestly, if I saw this for like the first time, I would have teared up. I did tear up a bit. I wanted to cry. That's probably these. I remember watching these two since season 1, and I've been wanting the story with them to be even more like clearer and deeper than how it was, and they kept like failing at it. They kept fumbling. Like, yeah, I get it was like progression, but I felt like we weren't really fully seeing it. But of course, they can just drop the comic and have all the black backstory and all make it make sense and come together, which it does. It's nice, but that's why I feel like it's the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum because they were planning on doing the comics and expanding the series and telling people his backstories. This was gonna happen either way. That's why it's not like, I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say there's no issues, there's no flaws. I think it's peak, but I also think it's pretty mid. But I really like what's going on. I like the diary. I like the Alec hug, Fiore hug. Certain moments is nice. Going more into Fiore is something that's very special. And then so much more like the parallels with Alec and Fiore in general, even with her parents and Cheryl and Daniel. There's really something really there, and having these two connect is literally why I feel like Fiore should have just been one of the main characters they, invested in. Fiore should really be on, as like the top tier level that Tom, Jake, and everybody else are. They're not for reasons, because this Venture Camp is more of a primarily gay show, and of course, the gay couple and those characters were gonna be like way more popular. But even still, like, I feel like they should have did way more with Fiore in general. I'm probably just bugging, or maybe I'm saying something that wasn't gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing it in a more even selfish kind of way or whatnot. I was just, if I'm watching the series, like, after all these, I can't say after all what I've seen, since I'm already on season 5, I'm caught up and all that stuff. Because I was just gonna say, I would actually watch the series just for Fiore. But if I'm going in, what interests me the most was the child. I can't even lie there. What interests me the most was Fiore, a child playing on this a season like Total Drama. I'm like, huh? How the hell? How's that gonna work? And then she almost won. That won me over for Fiore, and that's why she became my favorite character. And nobody's ever beaten her until we met Alec. My clusterfuck of a father. My God. Anyways, let's end this off. I'm ready to go now. I'm not expecting a great deal out of this, but I think I see things a little bit differently these days. All those years of boarding school taught me patience, so perhaps they weren't a complete waste after all. My parents will watch this season the way they always do, and this time, they'll see exactly who I am and what I'm made of. And she picks up the flower, representing her name, and she lets it and leaves it in the water. And that is it. The book, pen, and flower. It's really nice. It's really sweet. We finally got some coverage. It's nice that we got the contents, the context, the gaps filled, everything we needed. It's the bare minimum. So it's like, will I say it's the most peak in the world? No, because there are peak moments, and there are peak moments, like I already said, and everything about it is fun. It's reading this was a blast in its own light because Fiore as a character really is that interesting, and like I'd really love it if they'd even take it up a notch even further with her, like way before. I'm talking like All-Star era or something like that. How would they have done that if she was gone then, or what? I don't know. I feel like they could have done things differently. And I get there's also another thing, when Fiore got annoyed that Alec was eliminated, and there was no real like other emotion except for the norm. The thing is, yeah, it makes sense he wasn't gonna just go and be all emotional in front of the camera. But another thing is, when will we see that? I feel like we've seen Fiore all this time within each season go through a different phase. Also, of course, was the shortest, but she was pretty much a nerfed season 1 of herself. She's now a can't be social member, I guess. And it's like, that's good for what it is for the time being. But I feel like if you add some of that, some of what we're experiencing here, just a little bit, it gives her like a little, I don't want to say doubt, but it maybe if they weren't targeting Fiore so hard, it like hinders her gameplay just a little. Not to the point where she's like, she gets eliminated because she was too emotional or she finally let it crack. Because I don't think it's Fiore. Fiore would never let that happen. But I think letting something slip is better than not seeing anything at all until we get to like when she's eliminated and she goes to the motel and she's just upset because she's now gone and she's expressing it all to Alec. That's a waste. I feel like that's a waste of time. Also, she shouldn't be eliminated this early. This pre-merge or merge has just started. We're in pre-merge. Benji just returned, and we are still going. We have to have a ways away to merge, not merge, to late merge, and even the finale. I say Fiore is like Final 4 material, Final 5 even, or she wins the season. I don't think Fiore winning is any bad idea. I don't think it's gonna ruin the show or anything like Logan did. Like Logan winning was terrible, but if there's two people I want to win, it's Nura and Fiore, and they already fucked up Nura's arc, and Fiore just needs a little bit more. Like, yeah, I love the comp beast. I love how she's like a social, I say a social butterfly. She's just being very social. She's a social player, and she's got an alliance behind her that'll crumble, especially with Natty being all selfish and putting her feeling. Is it right to say? I mean, her last vote will definitely get her a few jury votes if she makes it that far. But all in all, like we all get, excuse me, why she reacted the way she did. But I think it's finally time we see a little bit more before this season ends, because this is either her last season or it's second last, because she can come back as an adult and or a teenager. I don't know. Yeah, either one, and she can probably be like the same old, but like, you know, more mature, like a little something different, because we only got so much more time left. And what really is there to show from Fiore that's in a comic? I don't wanna be reading a comic later on and she's just this whole, not this whole different person, but you can see the differences. We're not asking for clear differences, but you know, subtle. And that's unfortunate that we're sitting through that and we're not really getting it as much. But, you know, the season's not over, so we don't know what we're getting. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Well, no, I don't think it's fine. But I'm not really, you know, actually, I don't know what to really think. Actually, at the moment, I don't know what to think about at the moment, but it's fine in the end. And I guess the final thing I do want to say for like the comic overall is it was a nice read. It's fine for what it is, and I really hope this leads to something more story-wise. And we need that Alec comic to drop so we can really, you know, pair up the timelines like that and see where the story could really go. Because this ain't the end. We still got to see Fiore grow up, which is why they should focus more on her right now and even before. And, you know, this isn't the end of the video, though. I still have some screenshots to show. So let's get to it. This is just the end of the comic portion. See you guys for other part of the video. And we're back. So for this part of the recording, I will be talking about basically, you know, some comments I made about the Fiore comic, or Fiore and Alec, or just Fiore, and some other stuff. There's a main takeaway actually that I got out of the Fiore comic, and basically I've already mentioned how the parallels align with Alec and Fiore, and that's what I want to talk about the most, or at least mention, not really talk about, but mention. Let's just stop wasting each other's time. Let me just get into it. What's on the screen here is some memes I made, some comments about my thoughts, and some other stuff I restated during the comic, like how I feel like this should have been bigger. I can see the flaws, certain moments being peaked, and like how I think, you know, this was a great story to tell. And, you know, pause and read if you really want to know. But my main takeaway was how parallel Fiore and Alec's story is. Like, as you can see here, I say, hell, Fiore being in a family that sounded like they weren't even trying to have, aligns with Alec not wanting children. It's a sick parallel, and it honestly works a whole hell of a lot. I think it was one of the best things that came out of the comic, bar the actual hug, because Fiore was in a family that didn't really want her until it happened, and Daniel was born into a family that had a mother that obviously, we don't know if she wanted him or whatnot. All I know at least is Alec didn't want him, or it didn't plan to have him. So it's like, it's iffy, but he also really wasn't there. He wasn't the greatest father at all. But it coming down to Alec actually being a great father figure to Fiore after being a bad father in general, it just shows a lot how you could really deep dive into a story like this. Because one, how do you even think of something like that? And two, you know how serious that is? It's dope as shit, and I wish I had so much more to say about it. Like I mentioned in the other the comments how I felt like this wasn't as big, and more I'm gonna show. Like I also made constant tweets, pause it when you want to. I made other tweets saying like how I think Fiore should be the best. Fiore's. Let me say, I already stated this in the comic read, but Fiore should be one of the main characters. Her comic's the best. It's my favorite, although I find it like mid at points, but I also like it. I'm contradicting myself a lot, but you know what? I don't care. It's Fiore. It's my feeling. It's my feeling. But it's just how I feel. I think Fiore just like solidifies herself as like the best Adventure Camp character like out there. And to be honest, I think they low-key kind of fumbled it just a bit. And they can savor it, or they can save it to a point. It's not like it's ass like how I described Tom Jake or Gret's All-Star Run, but like it's the type of like underwhelming, when are we gonna get to the next step that doesn't leave Fiore gone and we're just waiting for like some clarification during some greeting that she's all fine and well and something happened. I don't know, it's just, when is the next step coming? I've stated stuff like I already said in the comic read, but it's really something to think about, because this really is something that needs to be addressed. Like, it's not just me, right?
Well, that's all I have for today's video, and that's literally, that should be all my thoughts at the moment for the Fiore comic. Not Fiore and Alex story in general. Maybe I'll make a video about, my thoughts on their whole run eventually. Maybe not, I don't know. That's a lot to really look over. And analyzing all of the stories, definitely like, it's just, I had to put it all together and then give my thoughts and just do some big long video. And at the moment, I don't know if I'm really ready for that, but I'm currently dropping like a lot of long videos in general, so I mean, hey, it's whatever. Yeah, that's it for today's video. And oh yeah, it's gonna be every video. As you can see, the teasers are dropping for, more people announced for that Cartoon Network platform idea. You're getting 2 today. 2. Yes, 2. I'm saying 2. You hear me? 2. Dos. Other languages, 2. Yeah. You're getting 2. And who are these 2? Well, here it is. And I guess to also fully disconfirm, there's gonna be there's gonna be characters revealed until I guess like maybe I reveal either all of the newcomers or maybe leave a few for the official like video, I guess, in case you don't watch till the end or some shit like that. So all I'm trying to say is, maybe I should, you know what, I ain't gonna say it. Just this is the end of the video, and see who I added into my, I guess, Melee-esque Cartoon Network platformer fight 2. Yeah. See ya!
Starfire! Starfire. Are you okay?
I am now.
I think I was wrong before.
You do?
Maybe a hero isn't all that I am. Maybe we could be...
Robin?
Starfire?
Stop talking.
Well, it's about time.